from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare, but when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I exist tonight, I don't have the time to fight. If I wait tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home, when I'm alone. No place to go, no one that can see through that side of the light. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the feel. Was out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the start of hell, but when I stop to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among us.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Turnbuckle Studios and the Boar's Nest proudly bring to you the Locker Room Breakdown, our Raw Perspective. I am your host, OMD. I am joined by my right hand and my partner in crime on the Boar's Nest, Mr. Bubba Duke. How we doing tonight, brother?
Doing awesome, my man. Can't wait to get to Raw, but I definitely want to talk about some stuff that had happened last week and what's coming this week.
Oh, yes. And I mean, we don't have a lot to preview this week, unfortunately. They were very, very limiting on details this week for WWE.
Again, kayfabe, bro.
Exactly.
I'm loving it.
And thank you to the right-hand man of the Boar's Nest, the Bulkster, for getting us the stuff to review and preview.
Yes.
He cannot be here with us this evening. He is on assignment with the wife.
Wife comes first, bro. We always say
Exactly.
that. Family is first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how was your week?
It's my weekend was really good. I spent the weekend with the girlfriend
Nice.
because she didn't have her kid, and my kid had prior engagements, so we switched weekends. And yeah, we went to there was a thing called the Bush Plane Days,
Yep.
and the Snowbirds were here, and there was a CF-18 Hornet here as well. He now travels with them and does the shows. I went down there and got some autographs for my little girl, got some pictures done, and we're gonna put them. My girlfriend and I are gonna put them in a frame, like the whole pamphlet with the Snowbirds on it, the F-18 pilot, pictures of everybody, and pictures of their planes. Because I made a nice little trip out to the airport and found where they were parked.
Oh, nice.
Now, truth be told, the F-18, because of the style of plane, and it's still technically a military plane, they kind of had it hit a little bit.
Right.
But you could still, if you knew where to look and how to get along the fence, you could see it. So I did snap a little picture of the front end of it for my kid to see, because she's into planes. So
Right. That's awesome. I did get to see some of it from work.
yeah, it was all over. You could see it.
And it was actually really cool because I did read an article that the F-18 pilot is a Sioux boy,
Yes, he is. Yes.
as were two of the members of the Snowbirds.
The female, who is one of the first females to ever be in the Snowbirds, she's one of two, because there was a woman before her that had to leave.
Yep.
Very nice. I had explained to her, like, I need an autograph for my little daughter, and she was more than happy. And she goes, go talk to him, the F-18 guy. He's from here too. Go get his autograph. He actually took a picture for us and signed a sticker.
Oh, that's
for
awesome.
her, because he's not in the pamphlet yet.
Right.
So he apologized and was like, "Here, I got a sticker sign." You know.
Yeah. I read an article about it because of, his parents had box seats and whatever for that. And
Yeah,
he is based at a military base in Quebec.
he is.
And he runs, like he said, they ran it at basically half the speed or just under half speed.
Yeah, because
The
they
F-18.
because where they had the show, because there is windows and buildings, and he couldn't go supersonic with the jet.
Yeah.
So they did some pretty cool like little maneuvers with the plane being really slow, and then he pointed the back at the water, I guess, and did like a afterburn takeoff,
Oh, awesome.
which was cool. And then the next day after that, the MNR did a show with the water bombers, the helicopters. Like it was
Oh,
a whole
wow.
weekend just celebrating everything to do with
Right.
planes and jets and everything. It was great.
Right.
It was a great
And
weekend.
please correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe the captain of the Snowbirds is also a Sioux.
No, he is not. He is from
Oh.
around the Sioux, but not the Sioux.
Okay.
He
'Cause I know there
didn't
were two-
specify.
There were two pilots from the Sioux on the Snowbirds, and another one, I believe, that did the flight course here.
Yes, that was him.
Okay.
Yeah, he did the course here to get into planes through Sioux College.
Okay.
Because he said at that point in time, and it still is one of the best courses in all of Canada
Yes.
for being a pilot. So he was stoked. They were all really nice. They even had like their crew manager was here with them when they were doing autographs, and he was explaining to some of the kids the stuff that he does on the planes,
Right.
which is really cool because they actually, and I didn't realize this, and I don't know if you knew this, but wherever they go, there's a transport with all their gear and extra parts that follows them around.
Yeah, I
Within
can
North
imagine.
America.
Yeah.
Within North America, obviously. Because I assume when they go overseas, they actually have like a Hercules aircraft or something that flies with them with all these extra parts and members of their support team and blah, blah, blah. But within North America, it's a transport.
Right.
It was actually parked right beside the planes when we went down there.
Wow.
It
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I
And
know,
like
I
I
had
said,
to-
it was great.
I had the opportunity when I was a kid, and I'm sure the changeover now, it's all new pilots.
Yeah.
I've met the Snowbirds. I remember one time, I can't remember why, I was out at the airport with my dad.
Okay.
And there were two CF-18s that were here, landed for fuel.
Yeah, they do that quite a bit. Yeah.
And there was a group of Boy Scouts that were here. So, of course, they were watching. And the two F-18s took off in tandem, full afterburner show.
Yes, when you have the air show at the airport, that is like, first off, they announce, okay, guys, everybody pay attention to the runway. The two,
Yep.
and you figure it's going to go 1-1. But no, they literally do what they do when it's they get a code when they're in the military at an air base. We need 2 planes, 4 planes, whatever, and they literally line up side by side and take off.
Yep. Yeah.
Full,
This
like you
was
said,
just-
full afterburner, everything.
Yeah. This was just 2 planes that had landed here to refuel. This wasn't an air show or anything
No,
like that.
they still do that because they practice, right? They'll land one behind the other, boom, boom, because they have to.
Yeah.
But when you take off, yeah, they definitely, both of them take off at the same time because of that reason. You got to keep that practice so that they're not doing the wiggle and hitting the other guy.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like you said, they didn't have the ability to do that kind of thing here
Right.
because they literally did it over the river between the US border and the Canadian border.
Right.
So it wasn't even just Canada that got a nice show.
No.
The States also got a really great view of this thing that we call the Snowbirds.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Chris, I don't know who was flying. I can't remember his name. If my girlfriend is watching, you have the pamphlet, babe. Could you check for me and let me know? Even if you just text me on my phone. Pardon me. Sorry about that.
Please let us know, Dixie.
Yeah. I keep calling her my girlfriend, but we we've nicknamed her Dixie. Yes,
Yes.
which is funny.
Yes. So,
But, all in all, it was a great weekend for me. It was unfortunate that I didn't have my kid,
right.
but it was a great weekend for the girlfriend and I just to get out and de-stress from all the children and have a
Yep.
great last time.
Yep. No, I did the same thing. I took off up north Saturday night after work, 3.5 hours up the highway, and got to spend Sunday with my son.
Nice.
And
How's
then
the wee man?
He was very, very testy this weekend with all three adults.
Oh, he was having a rough moment.
So next time it's not going to be a surprise so much
Okay.
that way, because I almost got a text on Saturday saying don't come.
Well, he was just having a bad weekend.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? It happens.
And then I left last night. I got on the highway a little bit later than I had planned on,
Okay.
but I had the highway to myself coming home. I passed between Dubreuilville or from Wawa to Hayden. I saw 3 vehicles
Going north?
coming back up this way,
Oh, coming back down. Okay.
coming back down.
It happened even when I was working. It was like 1-2 cars, and then you get to about Hayden, and then between Hayden and city limits, it was like, holy cow, where'd everybody come from?
I didn't even have that. It was, I think I saw maybe 6 vehicles from Hayden to the city.
Wow. How many mooses did you see?
None.
You got lucky because usually between Dubreuilville and Wawa, they're everywhere. It's like the unknown armored vehicle division of the Canadian Forces. They just come out of nowhere.
No moose. We did go out on, from my first experience going on a bird hunt yesterday.
Nice. Did you get to shoot a gun?
I did not.
Still fun though, right?
It was. I mean, I've never even held, and he had a 12 gauge.
Yeah.
So I've never even held one, so I wouldn't know what I'm doing.
I mean, I would think they would show you basic gun handling abilities, and I mean, I would be like, this is how you hold it. This is, make sure it's against your shoulder tight, especially that 12 gauge, because it will knock you on your keister.
So
and it will break your shoulder if you don't do it right.
Yeah. And they cleaned the bird right there.
You do, yeah. That's pretty normal.
Now we were only able to get one bird yesterday.
Okay.
But then we went up to Hawk Junction for supper. And then came back.
Yeah.
And that was when I got on the road. The kid was a little upset that I wasn't staying through until this morning.
Because he knows you're off, yeah.
I didn't want to be a distraction for him going to school this morning. And then he would be just as upset if I wasn't there when he got home from school today.
Oh.
So it was easier for me to leave last night, give him a little bit of stability.
Yeah, and let him chill a bit. Yeah, you definitely got to do that, because if you don't, then he just gets more wired.
Yeah.
Understandable.
So anyways, since we've discussed our weekends and some hard-hitting plane action, let's get into some hard-hitting action with our Raw review from last week.
Right. This is going to get intense, I think, for a minute at least here.
And let's start Pete Dunne versus Sheamus.
Yes. Oh, you want me to take the lead on this one? Because this was a good match. Again, Pete Dunne showing us why Pete Dunne should be in some sort of title run, or headed to a title at least. I'm a Sheamus guy too, and that's hard for me to say that. But
yeah,
he ended that feud with him and Sheamus.
I hope so. This was a hard hitter. I couldn't remember Pete Dunne beating Sheamus. because this was how we started off the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, another hard hitter. And yes, Pete Dunne deserves to be in a title hunt. But right now, because he is working Raw and NXT,
Yeah.
it's a little bit tricky to
Be a
get
little
him in there.
strenuous.
I would love to see him in that Intercontinental title hunt.
You know what? You know what I would like to see right now for that young man? I think the Intercontinental title is not out of view, but far enough away that I wouldn't put him in that run yet. I would put him in for the US title.
Okay, so you'd move him to SmackDown?
I would get him on SmackDown and get him into that US title run.
Okay.
Because I feel that there isn't proper competition for LA Knight there. Like someone that can keep up the pace, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
And Pete Dunne is just energy above energy. The guy is always going.
Right.
So I think that right now would be a better option for this young fella.
Okay.
I'm not saying I wouldn't put him in an Intercontinental title, but I think right now the US title thing would look a little better for him right now. Just
Okay. Well, because we discussed some breaking news potentially involving SmackDown on Friday on the security detail.
ooh, fill me in.
As of, I believe it is the first SmackDown in the new year.
Okay.
SmackDown is potentially going to 3 hours on a 6-month trial.
Ooh, yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't, because it is going to be for us. It's going to be on Netflix.
Yes. As well, I'm hearing about a potential draft.
Another one?
Another one.
Why?
Because
Just out of curiosity, what do you think?
I'm all for it.
Okay.
But if you're going to do 2 this year, you then have to stick with stability and you have to allow trades throughout the year.
This is true. Yeah, you kind of have to leave that open.
Not just let somebody, okay, you can go to Raw because they're asking for you, and we're going to bring somebody in 6 months to as balance for it. This is full on.
No, it's straight up person for person. Yeah. No, there's no 6 months. No, it's you want our guy? Okay, cool. Well, we want so and so. Like say Randy Orton, or you know what I mean?
Right.
We want him. Well, if you want him that bad, give us one of your guys that are equal to his ability.
Exactly. And it's got to be an equal trade. Or if you're going to do it, you do a 2-for-1 or a 3-for-1. And you do say, if you're SmackDown and you want Drew McIntyre, okay, Carmelo Hayes and Andrade.
You're headed to Raw.
But we're getting Drew.
Mm-hmm. I could get behind that. Make that kind of crap like so public, like they do for NHL.
Yes.
Do it just like that. Like, hey, this is what's going on. Raw wants so and so from SmackDown. Well, SmackDown, they're I don't even know the word because it just slipped my mind, but they want blah 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 because you want this person.
Yeah.
Which I think would be cool.
As Chris is alluding to here, Pete Dunne was just drafted to Raw earlier this year.
I know he was, and I do say that he needs to not go back to Raw, but be in that because of. I just think him and LA Knight would be perfect.
Right.
Right now, that would be, dude. You want to talk about stealing the show? LA Knight is hotter than hot right now.
Oh, he is. There's no question.
And Pete Dunne, everybody knows Pete Dunne. Like,
yeah,
dude, I never even watched NXT UK, and I knew who Pete Dunne was back then.
Right.
So, I think you get that Pete Dunne from back then on SmackDown, just relentlessly going after LA Knight for that title and build this huge feud. Dude, you're going to sell tickets and pay-per-views, and Like, I'm already, if they do, I'm already like, where are they going to be that's close enough to me that I can get a ticket
Right.
just to see that?
Right.
But
Next
that's
up,
where I was.
in what I found was probably a pretty forgettable match, we had Natalia defeating Zoe Stark.
This one hurts, bro. Because you guys all know this guy's Natalia 100%.
Yep.
Like, I've been a Natalia fan since she stepped into a ring. Yeah, you're not wrong. Very forgettable match. Very pointless. Killed the momentum of the show for me a little bit.
Okay. Yep.
Because I was on that high from Dunn and Sheamus.
Right.
I'm like, oh, because they're gonna do it again like they did last week. They're just gonna keep jacking that adrenaline up for me, and I'm just gonna be, by the end of the show, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've had those shows. This one kind of brought that down for me, and it's hard for me to say because I love Natalia.
See, I've never been as sold on Natalia as a lot of people have. She's talented. She's got the longevity. She's a Hall of Famer, no question.
None. Yeah.
But she's never really been given the opportunity to push through.
Nope.
She returns 2 weeks ago as a mystery partner in Calgary, which wasn't a surprise.
No. No.
But then you're getting her, and she had, like, prior to her injury and prior to all of this, she had teamed with both Shayna and Zoe.
Yeah, for good runs too.
And then it was like, now you're doing this, and it's like, and it just wasn't that great. Like, even Zoe, as much as she has grown on me,
Yeah.
now this whole thing with her, Shayna, and the PFC is falling flat. So
Yeah.
this was sort of that one match that I was like, I can take this off.
Yeah, we could have definitely done without that match. I get you were trying to kill time, but you killed it the wrong way. You definitely killed time.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, I think Natalia, and I hate to say this, has literally just become like an enhancement talent at this point. You know what, Natalia, if I could give you a word of advice, help bring up the talent at the Performance Center. Go help in NXT, go help down there. Your talent is better off to be down there than on the main roster where they're not going to use you and put you on a title run, or, well, you're going to get the tag team titles again. Like, how many times can you do a tag team title run?
Right.
And try to stay relevant.
Right.
You know, I feel her ability would be better suited NXT
Right.
and the Performance Center.
And as we know, she's got the Dungeon 2.0 that she and her husband TJ run.
Yes.
To train and elevate. I do believe she's doing a little bit of coaching at the Performance Center, but it is really hard to see because she's always been given these token title runs. Nothing that was earth-shattering.
Like, oh, we have nobody else to put it on. Well, let's put it on Natalia and some other girl that she's going to make look better.
I'd like to see her, maybe if you're going to do that, yes, put her down as a coach and a trainer in the Performance Center in NXT. Give her a managerial role.
Yeah, she doesn't even have to wrestle.
And I mean, like, unfortunately, even Natalia's promo skills are not great.
No, and I think that's what kind of killed her chances of ever having a real title run with the women's title, to be honest.
Chris Best coming in and saying Zoe should have won to get the momentum going. No, I don't. I think this match was just a waste of time. I think Zoe and Shayna now need to take a step to the back of the line for the women's tag team title pictures, and we will get into that a little bit later on because we had a hell of a women's match last week as well, a little bit later on.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute, yeah.
Then we had the Judgment Day defending in their first defense of the tag team titles.
Right, and how long have they had these titles? Literally, like, forever.
78 days. Today is day 85.
In this match, I'll let you go.
They defeated the New Day, who, once again, were not on the same page when it comes to match plan.
Not even close to being on the same. Dude, they didn't even dress the same. That's how far off the pages they were. Like the only thing that matched on their I want to say costumes, but I know that's not the right word, was the logo. That was it.
Yep.
That was the only thing that was the same. Otherwise, they were both completely different. Like totally not on the same page.
Yeah. Now, and again, this match involved a lot of shenanigans between the Judgment Day and the LWO,
Yes.
which,
Yes.
again, that is just getting played out unless you are building us to a final payoff of Dom taking Ray's mask.
Well, I would even like to see, because how long are they going to keep the LWO without Rey Mysterio around? Really? So what I want to see, not only is it Ray's last match, Dom gets the mask. Dom takes his dad's mask. You're it. You're not Rey Mysterio Jr. anymore. You're not wrestling. You're not allowed in a ring. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But in the same match, I want it to be LWO versus Judgment Day. Whoever wins gets to keep their faction together. Because I'll be honest, I'm an LWO fan because I love lucha wrestling. I'm all about that.
Right.
I'm tired of seeing LWO and they're just being used as like a funny gimmick for crap. They're not even getting good matches. They're not getting title runs.
Right.
They're not getting. What's the point?
See, and I don't want it to be a multi-person match. I want it to be Dom and Ray straight up one-on-one.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. But whoever wins keeps their faction. If Ray wins, Dom's out of Judgment Day, doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? It gets written out of the storyline. You guys are all single fighters or tag team, whatever you want to do. But you're not the Judgment Day anymore. Same thing with the LWO. If Ray loses his mask, he loses the LWO.
Right.
Ceases to exist. And that's a shitty thing because the LWO has talent on it.
See, what I could see happening, though, in a situation like that is, okay, Dom may lose the Judgment Day, but Dom can then go and rebrand the LWO as a heel faction, turning the Judgment Day face.
Again, another twist on that whole thing, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it just, something needs to happen with the LWO other than it's being stale right now. It's just doing nothing.
It is. And again, we had some perspectives on that during the SmackDown security detail because you've got the LWO on Raw and you've got Legado del Fantasma on SmackDown. Plus a heavily rumored tag team known as the Lucha Brothers who have potentially just signed with the WWE.
They did. I heard they did.
I have heard that too, but right now there is no official clarification. We will find out soon enough.
Yes, I'll check that because I heard that they are not going to NXT. They are going to go straight to Raw and start their climb to the titles.
See, and I've heard it was straight to SmackDown.
Oh, so I will double check my feed that I have from AAA.
But until we officially see them on whichever WWE brand, they haven't signed.
No, exactly. That's what I was just going to say. Like, believe what you want to believe, but in all reality, if you are not on the product, to me, you do not exist on the product.
Yes.
Like,
but what I've liked with this match, though, between the New Day and the Judgment Day, was the aftermath with Kofi and Xavier.
Oh yeah, it went crazy. So wow.
And I'm wondering, because then Xavier puts out a tweet saying, maybe it's time to reunite with some old friends.
Ooh.
So do we get that?
Who's the old friends?
Exactly.
You know, when he was doing his I don't mean to cut you off. I just had this thought. When he was basically telling Kofi, I'm done. You just keep messing everything up. I seen shades of consequences Creed because
Yep.
he just frustrated. I don't blame the guy. Things have been going sideways for a while now for him.
Yep.
And Kofi just seems to be leaving him out of the loop on everything.
Yep.
And I get that's the story, that's what we're going with. But I'm kind of curious where he's going to take it tonight.
One of the things that I have seen throughout wrestling a lot lately, and it was more specifically in NXT, but I've seen it in TNA,
Okay.
is for these teams to get on the same page and really get to know each other, they're giving them one-on-ones against each other.
Oh. Wow.
Do we maybe go there?
Start a feud between the two of them to get them back on the same page.
Not necessarily a feud, but a one-off match. Let's go. Let's get all of our frustrations out.
One off sounds really good. It does. But I would love to see the best out of three kind of thing. One wins one goes, well, dude, I wasn't at my best. Let's try it again.
See, and I'm going to be honest because we've just had that on SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
Which was a best of 5 between Carmelo Hayes and Andrade.
Oh.
Which then resulted in a U.S. title shot this past Friday for Andrade, who lost, and then got attacked and started another backstage brawl with Melo. And now this Friday we get match 6.
Excuse me. Yeah. I see Mr. Best is saying something here. So there's conflicting reports. AEW still has them listed as working there. They have not worked with AEW in, I would say, 6 months.
But they haven't,
if not a little longer.
It's just that they haven't been on TV. It's not that they haven't worked, or their contracts may still be there.
Yeah, I mean, they've been all over too, doing things with not just AAA, but like they were in New Japan. Yep. I heard a little bit, and then they were in a couple other little places. So even if they are, they still have the ability to opt out of their contract with AEW to go somewhere else.
Penta is a former Impact World Champion.
He is. Yes, he is.
Having defeated Austin Aries and his brother in a triple threat title match.
That he did, yeah. Again, reports, right? Like, again, does AEW have an official website that you can go to and see who's working for them?
Probably. Mr. Best? I don't know what I'm sure it's going to be AEW.com.
I'm sure it would be. I've never been on it. That's why I'm asking.
Right. Now we get to what was an incredible, amazing women's match in Bianca Belair and Io Sky, with Io Sky getting the quote-unquote upset.
Yeah, I mean, I did not see this victory coming, to be honest with you. I didn't. I would have bet my paycheck that Bianca was going to win, and that would have been the end of everything for these two women. But Io pulled it out, and in incredible fashion. Again, proving she needs to be in a title shot somewhere for something. Because this girl can, show.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, because I've said the same thing about Zoe and Shayna and the Pure Fusion Collective needing to go to the back of the line. Mm-hmm. I've said the same thing about Damage Control needing to go to the back of the line and give some of these other potential women's teams the opportunity to come up and challenge. Whether that's KC Squared, whether it's Lyra Valkyria and whomever she's partnering with.
Yes. She's been hanging out with those two, though. That's the thing, right?
She has. But then she actually just made an appearance on NXT last week in a tag match.
Okay. I mean, there's so many options right now for the women.
There is.
Say, listen, I've seen you perform. I would love to tag with you. Let's go after those titles together.
Yeah.
Like literally, you could take any two women right now and pair them together, and I think you have magic.
But again, I want to see these teams come together organically, not just thrown
No, you know what I mean.
together
I know what you
and
mean.
give them the title match. Because that has been a massive downfall of tag team wrestling in the last decade.
Yeah, they don't. It's not. Yeah, like you said, not organic enough. Like back in the day.
And let these teams build some chemistry like they did when they created the Bar with Sheamus and Cesaro.
That was cool. Those dudes literally ripped each other apart in matches and then went, you know what, dude? Why are we fighting against each other? We're better off together. We can dominate this company.
Yep.
And then look what they did. How many years were they together and just dominant?
Yep.
Epic. I agree with you. Things need to be organic, not just you get your tag team, go.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And then we move into our main event from last week, which really had me off guard because I really didn't know what to expect for a main event last week. But we got Damian Priest defeating Dom.
Which this one's hard for me because Dominic has really been growing on me. And I've kind of been a Damian Priest guy for a while.
Right.
I like Damian Priest. His character has grown tenfold since he first started. But I think it would have been better in story to have Dominic pull this one out without the shenanigans. And I said this during the show last week.
You did.
I would be super impressed with Dominic if he could pull this one out without help from his crew and Rhea not getting involved on the side of Mr. Priest.
Right.
I would have been super impressed.
The funny thing was it was Damian that won the match because of the shenanigans of Judgment Day.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I mean, again, a hell of a match. Both of these competitors are incredible.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Priest made Dominic look even better than Dominic really is to a degree.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong. Dominic has talent. He does. The kid can wrestle.
Oh, he can.
But with Dominic kind of helping him in the match, so to speak, he just made Dominic look that much better as far as the ability Dominic has to sell. Dominic can sell like the best of them now. I'll give you, he took a clothesline from Priest and he literally folded himself inside out to make it look 10 times worse than what it was.
Yeah.
I just wish Dominic would have not had that interference and he could have pulled it out. And this could have started that rivalry between him and Priest for, let's say, the name Judgment Day, because, blah, 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 whatever.
See, again, that's not something that I want to see. I'd like to see, okay, Priest is going on his own. Once he's done, because he's got Finn Balor coming up at Bad Blood, I think.
Yeah, right.
So that's why he's running the gambit. I would have been okay had it been just Rhea and Liv at ringside, but again, still maybe too many shenanigans.
Well, again, you could have had Rhea chase Liv into the back, and that would have distracted, say, Priest, and Dominic capitalizes, gets the pin, and then he takes off because he knows if he doesn't, Priest is whooping him.
Right.
Just have that slight little, and then have Priest come back out this week and say, listen, Dom, you didn't win. It was a fluke. You got lucky. I bet you can't beat me again by yourself. Right. And then have that rematch where Dominic just gets demolished.
Right. And then,
but again, it is what it is.
It is what it is, and we'll have to wait and see where they go from here. I just don't want to see this whole thing get dragged out for another 2.5 months.
Mania.
So we've covered a lot based off of last week. So let's hit up the little bit of what we've got tonight. And I'm going to start off with something a little bit different. I want to start off with Drew McIntyre responding to CM Punk.
Yes, Drew McIntyre's response, his official response. Okay, I'm going to state this because there was a response via X by Mr. Drew McIntyre. Just stating about, just repeating everything that Punk had said. I'm not scared of you. Basically, it's game on now. This is what I wanted.
Right.
So I want to see if he repeats those sentiments on Raw tonight.
Right.
Basically saying, yeah, I'll take you on in a steel cage and you're not leaving because I'm the bigger man kind of thing. But if I had to put money on somebody, it's Punk.
Right.
Literally.
I'm thinking Punk is going to win this. But we also do know, because Adam Pearce came out when he made the match, he said, this is it. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, no more shenanigans.
And this is where I think that idea of another draft this year before the move to Netflix would be beneficial, because you can move one of them to SmackDown.
Well, even like you said, you could just do a trade.
And one of them into the title hunt with Gunther.
Yeah, and at the same time, isn't CM Punk technically like a free agent? He can bounce back and forth.
No, CM Punk was drafted to Raw.
Oh, he's now signed with Raw.
Yes.
Okay. See, I forgot about
he had signed with Raw, and then when they did the draft, Raw kept him.
Okay. I wasn't sure how that worked.
He has been doing a lot of work and has just made an appearance on NXT this past week.
I seen this too.
And will be appearing on the CW on October 1st when NXT moves there.
Yes. He also announced that he is a special guest referee for a certain title match happening over on NXT, which I caught that. That was pretty cool. Be honest. That was cool. But yeah, I can't wait to see what Drew has to say exactly now that it's official.
Me either.
So,
and I think this next match that I'm going to cover is going to actually probably open the show. Sami Zayn and Ludwig Kaiser. And what a match this is going to be.
That's crazy. If this doesn't open the show, I'd be surprised. To be honest.
Yeah.
Sammy is as hot as he's ever been. And Mr. Kaiser himself he's a good wrestler. He can put on a match.
See, and I'm going to disagree with you. Neither of them are as hot as they've ever been. Kaiser has been a lot hotter. Sammy has sort of been out of the loop since losing the Intercontinental title. But now Sammy's pushing and angling for a title match. And I think that is what's going to happen here is if Sammy wins, he's going to get Gunther at Bad Blood.
I thought that was the reason why they were having a match.
Well, it's because Sammy was getting into Kaiser's head. Gunther came out, asked Kaiser, and Kaiser suckered him. So we don't know yet if it is going to be a technical number one contenders match but I can also see that if Gunther gets involved and knocks Sammy around, then they're going to give Sammy the title match either way.
Okay.
And then
interesting. On
to the match that I think is going to be the true main event of the show, the Intercontinental Championship match with Braun Breaker defending against main event Jey Uso.
I like that play on words, brother. That was good. You got me with that one, dude. You did. You got me with that one. I agree. Main event, 100%. Again, if Jey doesn't win this title, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. Because this is the third time in the last year he's tried. I'm done with it. Either win it or go on to something else.
Yeah, no, Jey needs the win here, or This whole
Yeah.
thing is done unless they go one specific route and you have Solo and the Bloodline show up to take him out.
And then that starts the
Oh.
feud. Okay.
To create the reunion. But even then,
yeah.
and I posed this question because as we get into this, what did Solo really do wrong when he created his own bloodline? Who named him the tribal heir?
No, that I'm not arguing with that one.
Which tag team told them they would follow him into battle if he was the new tribal chief?
Right.
Prior to that, Jay had been told he was being groomed by Roman Reigns to be the next tribal chief. All of a sudden, after everything that happened last year at SummerSlam, like a year and a half ago,
yeah,
he gets moved to Raw and goes and does this, which I equate to the Japanese thing of a wrestling excursion, where the Japanese wrestlers, as they're coming up, they come over and they wrestle North America for 6 or 8 months.
Yep.
So you've got all of those different aspects to look at. But yeah, if Jay doesn't do it, then Jay needs something.
Yeah, they need to. Some kind of title needs to go around that guy's waist right now as a singles competitor.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him in a tag team just yet. I want to see him have a singles run.
I could see him winning the belt now and then dropping it in another month or so. But or I hope it's going to be an elevated run and maybe he drops it at the Rumble.
Even that would be perfect. Awesome. And then set up the whole two tribal going at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I could get behind that. So hopefully somebody from WWE is listening, because that I would be happy with that. Give him a decent little run with an independent title, and then Royal Rumble, lose it to set up, because he gets screwed by somebody from the other bloodline, and that sets up the whole Roman coming out and saying, listen, with his brother, hey, we need you.
Yeah.
Because we're going after them.
Don't even get me wrong, because I could even see if Jay doesn't win here tonight, where I think he should go to really solidify himself and get that singles run.
Yep.
Go over to NXT. Take a run with the NXT title.
Okay. But what would be the point of having him on NXT when he's main event?
To get him that experience as a singles champion.
Just to see how people react to it, kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, we know he's gonna get the pop going down there as main event Jey Uso.
Hell yeah.
So, because he can show up, and I mean, he and Trick Williams can tear the house down in a match.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I was just curious about your thoughts behind why would he go down there. Really. Again, I don't disagree with you.
Get the experience, get that title run, and get a 6 or 8 month reign.
Yeah.
You can still work both shows.
100% he could.
So.
No, I don't disagree with that, because that would be not only beneficial for him to have that independent title run, but also beneficial for NXT to have a guy of that caliber holding their title for a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're not getting an argument out of me, my friend. I agree.
All right. With that being said, it is 10 to 8, and we have to get ready for the Raw Patrol. We have to head over to the other room and meet our friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching, you can catch us and catch our socials after the Raw Patrol right here on Turnbuckle Studios.
Yep.
We thank you all for watching. From all of us here at the Locker Room and at the Boar's Nest, good night, good luck,
And
and
goodbye.
we out.
Viva, viva.